Hi, I'm Ben from Maybe Autism is My Superpower.
Hi, Ben.
I usually don't do this much anymore, but when I was younger, I'd like to line up my toys.
That's very true. Instead of playing with your toys the way they were intended to be played with, you would line them up. And this is a really great example of what you would do. For example, what toy is this?
Gears.
These are gears. And how are they meant to be played with?
Like spin.
Yeah, like you build with them and you spin them and make creations. And what do you like to do?
Line them up.
Did you like to do? Line them up. How would you line these up?
By color.
And there's some kind of order to this color, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of order is there?
Probably the rainbow.
Oh, the rainbow.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple.
Wow. And I think a lot of kids with autism who have sent you videos have showed us themselves lining things up by order of the rainbow colors, which is very interesting. What are some other ways you would line your toys up? What type of order?
Numbers.
Numbers like your train.
Thomas trains.
Right, like your trains had numbers. You'd put them in number order. What else?
And size.
Would you like them from biggest to smallest or smallest to?
Smallest to biggest.
Yeah, you would take the farm animals out of your farm and put them in a row from smallest to largest. So sometimes there's a size order, sometimes there's a number order, sometimes there's a color order. All very interesting, Ben. So Ben, when you were younger, you had a team of therapists. You get a lot less therapy now, but you had a team of therapists that would make goals for you. And one goal they created early on when you were a toddler was to help teach you how to play with toys appropriately. For some reason, they didn't like you lining up your toys. They wanted you to play and learn how to play appropriately. So what they wanted to do was disrupt the line you created and teach you how to play with whatever toy you lined up the way the toy was intended to be played with. But how did it make you feel when your lines were broken or the things you lined up were taken?
Bad. I felt bad.
It would make you feel bad. You would freak out. And now that you're older and you can describe it a little bit, what was putting things in line helping you with?
Helped me to keep calm and relaxed and brought a sense of order to things.
Brought a sense of order to things. That's very advanced thinking, Ben. And yes, and I noticed that when you had less language, you wanted to line things up more, and maybe that is from that sense of order. So we decided to make a therapy change for you, realizing and recognizing how upset you would get when your line was broken, and we were asking of you to break that sense of order. So we decided to do things a bit differently. So we were really lucky, Ben, that we had a team of therapists that were willing to look at things differently and change things up based on how you were responding to things and based on Mom's instinct that I didn't want you stressed out. I felt like stress would make things worse. And do you remember your therapists early on, what their names were?
Jamie and Mary.
Jamie and Mary. Do you remember where they came from?
Achieve Beyond.
Achieve Beyond. And who is still with you now?
Mary.
Mary has been with you since you're 3
3
years old. And how old are you now?
16.
16. And this is the last year with Mary. Wow. Fantastic, man. But we were very fortunate that our team of therapists, Mary and Jamie, would have meetings with us where we would really try to look at things differently and say, okay, this isn't working. We're stressing him out. Is it worth it to have you play with something appropriately if you're stressing and screaming and crying? That didn't seem to make sense because you would talk less than, you'd give Mommy less eye contact, you were all stressed out. So instead, we joined what you were doing. Mary would walk in or Jamie would walk in, and if your trains were lined up, what would they do with you?
They would talk with me.
They would sit on the floor with you and they'd say, hey, Ben, what are you doing? What are you lining up? Let's count the numbers. And you love that. Instead of saying, hey, Ben, you have to put this train on the track and make it go choo-choo, and that would freak you out, they would join what you were doing. They'd help you line it up. And how would that make you feel that they were joining your world a bit?
Good.
Good.
It made me feel good.
I'm happy about that because we got a lot of progress from you with that strategy of them sitting next to you. And sometimes they would say, hey, Ben, what's your favorite train? And you wouldn't answer. And then maybe they would say, my favorite train is James. Did you have a favorite train, Ben?
I did not know.
You don't have to know. But they would talk about what you were doing, and they would line them up with you. They would count them with you. They would talk about the colors. And you at that time maybe would give them some eye contact or smile and laugh, and we would make some progress. Or maybe you would have one word then. Or I think joining your world helped you relax, and we actually got more therapy progress out of you that way than forcing these lines apart. So what would your suggestion be to like therapists and teachers of kids with autism?
If kids are lining up their toys, join them. Don't break them apart.
Why not?
Because it may make them stressed out more.
And does that help their therapy or hurt their therapy?
Hurt their therapy.
I agree with that, Ben. I do. And what would you like to say to your therapist, Ben, and to Achieve Beyond, who's been with you all these years?
Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for looking at things differently.
Yeah, keeping an open mind. And sometimes you have to look at things differently and take a different approach. And we were very fortunate that your therapist worked with us and had an open mind to that and did take time to try different things that actually helped you a lot. So very grateful. So lining up toys is helpful for kids with autism? All right, so we let it go, and eventually we used it during therapy in different ways, and eventually Ben just stopped doing that. So thank you, Ben, for sharing this journey with us.
Goodbye, and don't forget, awesome's the superpower.
Sure is. Bye, guys.